Hey everybody, and thanks for clicking on my YouTube link to look at the 1984 Jeep CJ7 I have for sale on Craigslist. It's a 1984 CJ7, and you know, it's a pretty decent rig. The point I'm trying to get across by this video is it looks bad, but runs great. So I'll give you a little bit of visual by video camera, kind of give you the idea what you're looking at if you were here in person, and then I'm going to start it up so you can really listen to it go. So anyway, what we're looking at is the front here. As you can see, I'll zoom in a little bit. It's actually pretty clean. You know, you get a good idea of the tires, 35-inch Super Swampers. They're not great, 25% or less on the tread, but they're definitely drivable for now until some better tires come along. You can see on the driver's side here, you know, it's not dented up really or anything. There's small dings throughout, but because the paint is so heavily oxidized, it kind of blends in. You can't really see them all that well. It's got armor in the rear quarter panels, rocker guards down there. You're sitting on a 3-inch lift for the addle leafs and the springs, and then a 1-inch body for a total of 4 inches. And plus, you know, like I said, the wells have been cut out a little bit, so that'll give you a little more clearance too. I'll take you to the inside of the rig and kind of give you an idea what it looks like on the inside. Starting right over here on the floorboard, a lot of concerns I've had in emails is what's the rust like? Well, you can see here, there is rust. Fortunately, it's only limited to the surface, probably sand out with no problem. And over here on the driver's side, the same thing. You can see that there's no piercing through or actual rot, as some people would say. So I'll pan out a little bit here, kind of get a look at the dash. You know, when I mentioned on there that there was some gauges not working, it's because the previous owner really liked gauges. Fortunately, what does work is the odometer, tachometer, fuel, heat, oil pressure, and those are obviously the necessities. The two switches located up above here really don't go anything right now. One was an onboard air switch, the other was a rock light switch, which is still installed. Full roll cage, kind of get a look there. Come around to the rear with the tub. You can see it's actually in pretty good condition. Not too bad at all. Seats, seen better days, but they're okay considering what the rig is. Hardtop's pretty decent condition. The only damage is right here in the rear. It's kind of chopped up on the bottom a little bit, and this seam right here is kind of spliced a little bit. But it holds the weather out and doesn't rattle down the road, so it's actually in pretty decent condition. Walk over here to the passenger side, just give you a quick glimpse at that. For the most part, it matches the driver's side. So the only damage over here is on the fender here. It looks like it's kind of scratched and beat up a little bit. It's been parked on a rock a time or two. You know, this Jeep is a Jeep. It's made for wheeling, and that's what we've done with it. So get a good idea of this. I would show you the rear, but you can see it's parked right up on that fence, and my camera won't zoom out enough to get that in there, but you'll see it in the pictures. It's just like everything else. It's not bad. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to set the camera down. I'm going to try to point it at the Jeep the best I can here to start it up for you, so you can take a listen to it run. So I think that'll work out, and I'll go ahead and start her up. For the price, I've got some emails saying, you know, the thing must not run, you know, for the price you're asking. The reality is I have a new Rubicon and I want to spend the money to put some parts on that. The point I was trying to get across, once again, is it looks rough but runs great. And I hope by you just listening to it start up and idle for a minute, you can kind of get the same idea. On a test drive, no surprises. You'll find out that it runs as well as you hear it right now. There's no problems with the transfer case or transmission. 4-wheel drive works fine, 4 high, 4 low, everything's tight, doesn't rattle. You know, it's low geared, so you know, 50 miles an hour is a little rough, a little red line, but you know, if you want to use this for the trails, and I think that's probably what it's built for, you get yourself a real good rig. But just want to hear you listen to it, or let you listen to it for a second. I'm going to go ahead and open up the hood here. It may get a little loud, but so you can see what you're working with. 4.2 inline 6, all Clifford intake, exhaust headers, poly carburetor, recently rebuilt. Everything's timed and dialed in real well with new plugs, and obviously you can see that it runs very, very well. So I guess with that, I'm going to go ahead and cut the camera and leave it up to you to make the phone call. My name's Daniel, phone number 775 230-9545. Thanks for looking.